Hey there, this is Sam from barbershopquest.com, and today I'm in the famous historic town of Trenton, New Jersey. And today I'm at the Trenton Battle Monument. Like you can see behind me, two soldiers standing on guard. And it's ironic, today is December 29th, and 3 days ago in 1877, the American soldiers were fighting the British soldiers right on this soil, right? So this is very historic. So a lot of history to it, and the American soldiers, of course, won the battle. So they set this place up to commemorate the battle. Today, I wanted to talk about business and about entrepreneurship. And based on my experience, about a year and a half ago, there was a battle in my head, right? And basically, what I was battling about, my confusion was to whether to go full time into business and entrepreneurship, or just continue on my career path and go into the science field. So today I want to help you, push you over the cliff. If you are at the point where you are not sure, or if you are at the point where you are sure but you need a reaffirmation as to whether this is the right decision or the right thing to do going forward, right? So a few years ago, about a year and a half ago, I read two books. One of it was Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and the other one was The Richest Man in Babylon. If you might have heard this book, if you haven't heard this book, I would say stop this video, run and find these books, right? The Richest Man in Babylon and Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This basically gave me all the background information and a new perspective in life. So basically, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, he goes into how in society, the mindsets, right? The two various things that's going on between the employer and the employee, or if you want to work or own a business, that people work for you, right? And then also The Richest Man in Babylon, that's a genius. That goes over this guy that basically started from nowhere, and I can kind of really relate to that because it was the life of this guy in ancient Babylon, and this guy basically had nothing, and he was like the peasant on the floor. Nobody cared about him. He was struggling. His wife and kids, he couldn't even feed himself, and he used to make chariots, right? And one day he had a wake-up call, and it went over how he went from being nothing to somebody on the floor people step on and have no respect for, into becoming the richest man in Babylon. How amazing is that? So when it goes about the various things is that, and it's very, very applicable to this day. Once I read this book, it like kind of changed my perspective. It changed my mind and how I felt about business. But it wasn't solid. It wasn't like how I feel now. Because now it's like I embrace it. I embrace entrepreneurship fully, and I embrace business fully. This is my life, right? This is what I'm doing. Like, there's nothing better than being in business or being an entrepreneur, right? And today I'm gonna share with you kind of what kind of like sparked my passion and drive for business, and hopefully it'll kind of push you over the edge and help you win the battle, right? Now the battle, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the battle that's going on your mind. Sometimes when you are an entrepreneur, there are two kinds of people in the business and entrepreneurship world. And the first kind usually is the point where you're not sure, right? And I could talk about it because I have been there. It's the point where you're not sure whether you're going to go into business or entrepreneurship, and you kind of like torn between. It's kind of like your mind is telling you or asking you if you're making the right choice, right? Is it the right choice with all the risk, all the the way people feel about business, right? Am I making the right decision? Should I go into business or not? So there's this kind of person, and then there's the second kind of person that is like already in business, but at the point that voice keeps coming back, and you keep asking yourself, should I still continue being in business, or should I still continue being an entrepreneur? Is this the right decision? Is this the right choice or not? So basically I'm gonna use go over some experiences that I had, and how that helped me overcome those. Started opening my first business, and to be so much involved and develop such a love and such a passion for entrepreneurship. What pushed me to make my decision was time and freedom, right? Time and freedom are two very important things that we really, really need, like in our life. We basically want to have freedom, and you want to have time. So usually you realize that there's three kinds of people, right? There's those that have a lot of time with no money. So if you're not working, obviously you're not making any money. So you have a lot of time, right? So you have a lot of time. If you're not working enough, even if you're working part-time, you have a lot of time, but you're not making money, because those are times that you're not working physically. You are not being paid, right? You're not making any money. So there's this kind of people, and then there's the second kind of people. Those are people have a lot of money, but no time, right? And basically how that works is that if you have a good job, right, aside these professionals, you have you make a good sum of money, you have benefits, you have all this kind of package, and you basically make a lot of money, good amount of money. The problem is that you don't have a lot of time to spend this money, right? So there's these kinds of people, and then the third kind of people, which I like, which I am in, right? Is those that have a lot of time and a lot of money, right? Well, obviously I don't have a lot of money, and sometimes because I'm still working on it, but basically this is where you want to be, right? You want to be in a point where you have a lot of time and a lot of money, and the only way to do that is to be some kind of business entrepreneurship. That's the only way you could be in that situation, right? And so I realized that by being in business or being an entrepreneur, I get the opportunity to own businesses, right? Now I have my first business, and it's my baby. I'm working towards it, so I could, working to a point where it's very profitable, and I could make enough money to open my second business, my third, fourth, fifth, and so on and so forth. But it's like now I could have an opportunity where I could create a system or a business where I don't have to be there, but I could still make money, and I don't have time, right? Now with time, we need time for various things, right? And I see people don't have a lot of money with no time. You don't have time for other things, right? Like your hobbies, your family, things that are important to you. I talked about in my other video, finding your purpose, things that are important to you. For me, for instance, like family, friends, travels. I want to travel to different places, visit different hotels, eat at different top restaurants, do fun stuff, things that are exciting to me, in my life. My hobbies, I like art, drawing, painting. It's not something that I do to make money, but something that I like to do for fun. But I want to spend more time doing that. You need time to do things like that. Your spirituality, things that are important to you. But the only way to do that, to have those things, and also to have money, is by setting up a system where you could make money whilst you are not working, right? And that boils down to entrepreneurship and to business. So I'm giving you all this, I'm feeding you and sparking you with all these ideas, so you get to think about it and get to reconsider entrepreneurship and business again, and why or how it's going to help you achieve all these dreams, right? You can see the sunset behind me. So another important aspect of business that really intrigued me, attracted me, is the fact that it also brings out your leadership abilities, right? It forces you your leadership skills to come out, right? Because I'm being in business, you have to obviously definitely become a leader and inspire people. It also brings out your creativity because you have to be creative. Every day being in business and as a business owner, you have to be very creative. Myself, there are so many different things I created, like in my own business, coming out with different policies, coming out with different things to make it fun, different things you have to create in situations. The whole creation is like creating something. Right? So it brings out your creativity, right? It also develops certain traits and characters within you. Like for instance, patience, loyalty, integrity. There's all these things that go hand in hand with business that you have to, because people have to really like you. People have to trust you, right? When you're dealing with people, dealing with your team, right? Because for instance, in business, I have a team of people that I work with. Building trust in the team, gaining respect, leadership, all these things, comes out of you by being in business and being an entrepreneur, and all these wonderful things, right? And I also realized, and that's actually also led me to make this video, was identifying that business entrepreneurship, you really start making progress when you get to a point where you really have embracing it fully, accepting it like this is who you are. And when I introduced the video, I talked about how there's two kinds of people that are on the edge, they are not sure, and people that are already in it, but they still doubt if this is the right path to go, right? Because trust me, business school is also very challenging, and it's not always a smooth ride, so you get to a point where you get to doubt yourself if this is the right path or if this is the right way to go. Is that how I feel about business now? Because now I'm really rock solid, right now this is my life. This is what I've chosen to do with the rest of my life, with my time, my energy, and basically this is what I'll be doing, right? And a year and a half ago I wasn't that solid as I now. Right now I'm very solid. Now I'm very sure of it, but I realized that it was a journey, and it wasn't just about saying, okay, I'm going to go into business, I'm going to go into entrepreneurship, and just saying it, right? It's like an emotional journey, right? So I've been through a lot up to this point, and now it's like solid, right? I feel solid about the decision. And the reason why I wasn't solid, because I didn't have various experiences until various experiences started creeping in, and that kind of added to it. So I wanted to share with you an experience that changed my life. And a year and a half ago, I was still considering going into entrepreneurship and business, but I wasn't like really full time or having embraced it as I now. And something happened, and I was working with this great company. It was a food company, and I worked there for 2 years before that. It was a great place. I loved the employees, had a good time, had so much fun. But one day I came in, and I noticed that a lot of people were being laid off, right? The managers were laid off. It was 2 managers that got laid off, and all the kitchen staff was laid off, right? I was actually in the kitchen by that time, and I was shocked, right? And basically it was like everything hit me. It was like the world like just had dropped on my shoulders. Not for the fact that they not just for the fact that they left, because I mean it was surprising, right? People that you work with, you bond with, they are like your family, and then they all being laid off. And then I was there, and I was like, all these things came to me as to how if you just working, you could be laid off. Like you don't have you're working so hard, you could bust your ass. You're working so hard, you could work your tail off, for a company or for a job or career or whatever. But if you don't own it, you could actually be laid off, And it wasn't, they had been laid off because there was a new ownership, so he felt like he could change. He would change all the stuff and bring in his own stuff. On a business standpoint, I mean, that's what he has to do. But then it was also like on a for an employee standpoint, it's not like it hurts, and it's like very disappointing, and it felt like all your hard work and everything you put in is just gone down the drain. So at that point, I realized that ultimately on the long term, I'm not gonna work for anybody. I'm gonna work for myself. So where I could never be fired, and I set my own terms. Um, Basically, I could give people the opportunity. I could change the world. I could have time for my family and all these things that I talk about. So that's one point in my life that really changed me. Right. At one point, I worked for a company, very reputable car company, and I was a temp over there. Right. So basically, temps come in, they're on temporary basis, and if you do your best, you could be hired. Right. And basically, when I came in, I worked my tail off. Like I worked all the any overtime that came in, I was there. I worked so hard in this company, like But then when the time came, I was never hired. I was so like I was really like looking forward to it, but I was not. And it's like I had you don't have any control over certain things if you are an employer, right? And you could basically work your tail off, and things will not go as the way as they should. Basically, you're not in control, And I wanted to be more in control. Entrepreneur gives you opportunity to be in control of your own life and your own destiny, right? So I definitely hope this video helped you out. It's getting dark. I have to run back. So definitely like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you're thinking. And until next time.